Jay Sano without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeff again. And today marks a very sad day for Jeff in 2015. Why is it such a sad day? Well, it's a sad day because it is the longest time frame in the year 2015 days-wise that I will go without watching the Lions play football. Unfortunately, things didn't work out the way I wanted them to in the postseason this year. That happens. I can deal with that. However, football is a very short season compared to most other professional sports, and it does mark the longest time frame that I do get to go until the next time I get to watch a Detroit Lions football game. So that makes Jeff very, very sad. But whatever, he'll get over it. There's still plenty of football to watch in this season. It just won't be the same. It's all good. I can deal. No, it's really amazing how much I enjoy watching football and watching the Detroit Lions. So it is kind of sad that I don't get to see them for a while. But like I said, things happen. Whether there's bad calls, things like that. Games end. Things happen the way they do. You gotta deal with it. You gotta roll with it. So, unfortunately, that's the way it is. So, anyways, that's what I have to say about that. But I unfortunately actually didn't even get to watch the entire game yesterday. I put up that, I own a Snuggie, a Lion Snuggie. I put up that video yesterday, actually, as I was walking out the door. I left my house just after halftime because I had to go to work. So I didn't even get to watch the end of the game. I just got to hear everybody talking about the game and how it was progressing and things like that, because it was like one of the busiest days I've worked in a long time. So unfortunately I didn't even get to watch it all, which was very sad, but it happens. And what do you guys think that I'm doing right now? I just realized that I didn't tell you guys what I was doing. And what I'm doing is I went down and got some more obsidian because I want to resize my portal. That was dumb. I want to make my portal a better size that fits this room and just be different than the normal portals that I've done in the past. I've never made a portal bigger than your average portal. So my plan is I want to make a bigger portal. I think it'll look pretty cool down here. I don't know if I brought enough obsidian to make it as big as I want. However, we will find out because I have 23 pieces right now. I go 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. That was the wrong way to count. So let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 9, that would be 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I could literally do half of the portal size that I want to currently do. So what I'm going to do is cut this off real quick. Get my top and things like that in on this back wall on a size that I feel is adequate. So right now I have this. I want it to go all the way to the top. This at a minimum, because that's actually even with the back of this room. The funny thing is, I don't know if this room is going to stay this exact size. So it kind of makes it difficult to judge. But I'm going to keep it under the assumption right now that this room is going to stay this size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to have a minimum of 10 left. So it looks like I can extend this out one more on each side. I brought a bunch of buckets of lava. I could make this extend an extra 7 right now, but I think I can stick with this just to see how it works, because I don't even know if this is going to have a problem interfering because it's a different sized portal at this point. I've never lit a portal this big before either. I'm assuming the coordinate that it's based off of is kind of based in the middle, but I could be completely wrong on that. This looks like it still connects to my portal, which is nice. I was going to extend this one as well, actually, but I didn't get the obsidian for that. We can always go back and get the obsidian for that later. And if I use it, I still come back to my portal. Let me make sure that the new dimensions of this portal didn't interfere with BTCs at all. And we will be, we will be good to go with this for now and take on portal stuff for another day. I should come in here and just AFK so the grass actually grows. Well, I actually didn't think about that. I don't know if grass grows in the nether or if that was silk touched grass brought in. So everything's fine over here. That is actually something that I have no idea. Well, I think that answers the question right there. Grass grows in the nether. Contemplate that for no longer, folks, because we just watched it happen in front of our eyes as I was contemplating what actually happened, because I personally didn't know. These... Why'd two of these go powering through here? Oh, because one actually went through, came back down already. I'm just gonna let these keep smelting because there's no reason not to. Oh, and I had more lava buckets over there. Man, I have so many buckets. It's kind of ridiculous. But I kind of like it that way. I like having all those buckets around. So, back to work again after the big strike's over. For those who didn't know, my hospital was just on strike, and strike is over for now. We'll see what actually happens with everything, but back to work again. Today was my, or last night was my first night back since the strike started. Just the one-day strike that turned into a multiple-day strike. If you don't get that, a lot of people don't. I don't necessarily know that either, because when you hear the concept of strike, uh-oh, my sleepiness is broken. I'm bouncing on the bed. I'm like a little kid. I'm bouncing on the bed. Apparently, I broke the game. Oh, I can't even hit escape. Well, that sucks. I'll be back. Let me force quit this program. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Let me see if it actually slept through the night. It does appear to have slept through the night. So the bed worked. It just didn't, for some odd reason, register. I should grab my shears and get these guys sheared in case I need more red wool. There's no reason not to. Oops, I don't know why I just went down there. No reason not to get these guys sheared. Even if I don't need the wool, I can just throw it away and dye the sheep a different color or whatnot. But if I do end up needing red wool, there's no reason not to grab it now. I'm gonna go harvest all my crops as well, because I haven't done that in a long time, and make sure I get things cooked. Guys, which one of these does not belong? It's the skeleton and the horse. That was really weird. Either way, he's dead. So let's get in here, get these guys all harvested up. But what I was saying is last night was my first night back at work, and it was a night shift. So night shift is an interesting shift to work. For those who don't work night shift, it really throws you off, especially when you're in a job that switches back and forth between day shift and night shift. I think it's kind of actually horrible that they do that to people, and especially that they make it a standard. Especially in nursing, it's not a common practice to have day shift only and night shift only employees. Whoops, that was dumb. I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that. I have nothing good to harvest without. There we go. Oh, I was using the wrong button too. That was dumb. It's not a standard practice, at least not in my facility and many facilities that I know other people who are nurses in. They don't, for some reason, hire as the standard day shift and night shift employees. They hire rotating employees. Now, when I started at my hospital, they hired rotating employees. You basically have to start out as a rotating employee as a new graduate. They want you to, for some reason, be somebody who rotates. They don't want to give you a day shift only position or a night shift only position. Part of the reason, especially as a new graduate, is because they want you to understand how the hospital works on all levels, which I don't disagree with that at all. I feel new graduate or even a new employee to a hospital, even like say for a month, your first month, if you experienced person, I've been doing nursing for 35 years, but I want to move to this other hospital. For 1 month, you can deal with, 2 weeks a day shift, 2 weeks a night shift or whatnot, or, even just 1 week a night shift or something on 1 week of the off shift that you would normally work to understand what happens on the other shift, because it helps you a lot to grasp the idea of what's actually happening with the other shift and what they do. Because if you focus yourself in on just being a day shift employee and don't really understand what happens at night shift when there's less people working, there's less departments, there's less people to contact when you have issues because places are closed, versus maybe if you're a night shift only employee, so you constantly do things and you have to deal with not having like as many people in the transport queue. The ultrasound that you would normally send somebody to during the day either isn't open or doesn't take as many patients, and therefore you have to wait a super long time, or you have to go to a special nighttime ultrasound to understand how it functions during the day. And especially in an emergency department like I work, how the busyness factor differs during the day versus during the night, and the types of people you're going to get, the types of clients versus you get drunks during the day, you get more drunks at night. More drug abuse and things like that than you do during the day. I'm not saying that you get, that's all you get by any stretch of the imagination, but you just, in general, get more drug-related or substance abuse-related things in the middle of the night compared to the daytime. And you get to learn how to deal with a different type of clientele on a regular basis. So I'm completely all about, if you started in a new place, or as a new graduate to understand all that stuff, sure, do a rotating shift for a little while. It doesn't have to be that long. You don't have to make them do it for like a year or anything like that, but to understand how the other side lives and works. I think everybody in any type of job should go work a night shift for a little bit somewhere just to understand how that side works and how it's different just even when you do grocery shopping if you're a night shift, normal night shift employee, or how you have to schedule like doctor's appointments and things like that because you're normally sleeping during the day as opposed to, going to work and can schedule either an appointment in the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, or right after you get off of work, or if you have to plan to take a day off of work. It's, different if you're, you can plan to take a day off of work, but what would you think as a normal employee about making a doctor's appointment at 2:30 in the morning? You wouldn't think of it because despite whether you took the day off of work or not, you're going to be tired at that time because that's the time you're normally sleeping. So you got to keep that in mind, but just to see how the other side lives. Like, I think it's a really good thing to be able to do. But for some reason, in the nursing field, they really love to hire people as these rotation shifts. And I understood it when I first started at my hospital, despite whether I was a new grad or not at the time. But at the time, they actually offered a higher percentage shift differential because if you work night shift, even if you're a rotating employee, you get a certain amount of shift differential when you're working the night shift. If you were a night shift only employee, at the time when I started, you actually got a 25% shift differential to work night shift. Whereas if you were a rotating employee, when you were on the night shift, you only got a 15% differential. So it actually had an incentive to become a night shift only employee, though there were only X number of spots and it was a relatively low number of spots for night shift only people. But it was thought to be the less desirable shift and therefore they didn't offer as many spots. Whereas when Whereas now they've changed it all, and it's not even a percentage base anymore, because when it was a percentage of your salary, it was nice because it actually reflected how long you'd been there for. Now it's a straight dollar differential, and there's no difference whether you're day shift only, night shift only, a rotating person. If you work night shift, for whatever reason, if you're day shift only, you can still pick up night shifts if you wanted to, as like, you know, overtime or something you worked out with your manager. But you're going to get a X number dollar differential to work night shift, no matter what your official position and role is. So as of now, there's no more incentive to necessarily be a night shift only employee monetarily, except for the fact that you just get differential more often, because if you're night shift only, most of your shifts, if like all of your shifts essentially, are during the night shift. So for some reason, they'd rather hire people as, well, we'd rather hire 2 people to rotate, so that every 6-week schedule, because we have 6-week schedules, 3 weeks of it you're going to be on day shift, and 3 weeks of it you're going to be on night shift. God, that portal looks pretty damn good, actually. I like it back there. Whereas, in my opinion, instead of hiring 2 people on rotation, I think you could advertise, and granted, I'm not in HR, so this is my thought process on this, but I think you could advertise 1 day shift only position and 1 night shift only position. People are going to be like, well, you'll never fill that night shift only position. And in my opinion, that is untrue. I would think that since you're not hiring 2 people as rotating, like a lot of people take rotating shifts because they have to. People aren't offering anything else. Some people might see that day shift only position and be like, hell yes, I want that day shift only position. Finally, I don't have to deal with this rotating anymore. Rotating is horrible. And somebody else might say the same thing. They might even not desire the night shift only position, but they might say, I will take a night shift only position because I'd rather have a night shift only position than have to rotate. Or you just don't hire anybody until you find somebody who wants to have a night shift only. I think with the fact of how many people we hire constantly, how our turnover is at my facility, I think you're going to have a good enough time finding people to do night shift only. If you put the position out there, I don't think we've ever had night shift only positions that didn't get filled up. And this is from, you're speaking to management and things like that, and knowing that when they put out these positions, they do fill up. They don't sit there and go vacant and just for like months and months and months at a time. They pretty much get people to want to work in any of these positions in both the emergency department as well as the ICU that I work at. So I don't understand why they don't want to go and make people happy, because I will tell you, rotating is a bitch. I would rather be a night shift only employee than a rotator any day of the week. Now, the other thing that happens in my department is in the emergency department, in the ICU it's different. The ICU has day shift or night shift or rotation. That's all it is. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or rotation. They do have a couple people kind of grandfathered in still. Do that. Kind of grandfathered in still at these positions that work like 8-hour shifts, and one person comes in and does 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. 5 days a week. That is their shift. That's what they want to do. They're grandfathered into it. They don't really offer that anymore in my particular department, but they, you know, these people have it if they have been there long enough. I forgot what I was saying about it. I told you I was going to ramble in this video because I'm going on no sleep because it's so hard to do the rotating back and forth. But in the emergency department, however, they don't have that many. They have actually very few anymore, which I find kind of sad. Very, very, very few day shift only positions exist. There's like 5 people who've had them for years, but they don't want to offer any more day shift only positions. Granted, that's supposed to change in the because of the contract negotiations. I don't know. We'll see what happens because of the strike and everything. We really haven't come up with a new contract, but they said they were going to offer more. But they kind of abolished that a while ago and went to, you're either a rotator, you are night shift only, or you are day evening. And the day evening is 7A to 7P, 9A to 9P, 10A to 10P, 11A to 11P, or 12A to 12P. or 12p to 12a, I guess it would be noon to midnight. And a lot of people switch over to that because they don't like working nights, but they don't really like the evening rotation either, especially when they're working like, you know, a 7 to 7 and then a 12 to 12 and then, you know, a 10 to 10 or something like that. It gets really hard to keep, you know, track of everything and just keep schedule straight. But because we work 12-hour shifts, granted we only work 3 days a week, so it makes it very nice. But I personally would rather be day-night rotation than I would be to be that day-evening rotation. That day-evening rotation to me is horrible. Those 12 to 12 shifts, is that outside? That is outside. So I need to replace that with the snow. Well, no, I can replace a block up with snow, right? Hold on, let me see how this is gonna look. Because I really want this thing to be, the ceiling to be like this. I don't know if it's gonna do that though. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna try. We'll try to make it work. So, long story short, I really wish places would be a little bit more, because I mean, it comes down to making bad decisions in my mind. When you make people rotate a lot, I think they make dumb decisions. I've done it myself when I've had nights where, granted this is against contract, but it happens all the time. I don't know why. You're supposed to have, if you switch from night shift back to day shift, you're supposed to have at least 48 hours in between. Whereas I go Saturday night and then I work Monday morning. Or I work Sunday morning and then Saturday night. So literally like 24 hours on the nose in between shifts. And that gets really hard to understand and concentrate because you're literally just, your body's meant to work a certain number of hours, go home, sleep, and kind of do the whole thing, or go home, do some things, you know, then sleep and then do the whole thing again. Whereas if you do that, you're kind of sleeping right after your shift because that's what you do after night shift. You go home and you sleep. Whereas if you're doing a 24-hour switch, you're now sleeping at the time you should in theory be awake because you shouldn't be sleeping for another 8 hours so you can actually get to sleep and get up and go to work. Like, it's a really weird like concept to understand and put together. If you're a rotator, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not, I'm rambling a lot because I'm tired because I just got home from working 12 hours and it was super busy and I'm sad. No, I'm not really sad. Well, I am sad. You guys know why from the beginning of the video. But either way, that was my little rant on, hi zombie. That was my little rant on rotating shifts, and I'm sure I will have more coherent conversation for you. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe the day after because I work again tonight. So, and then I have a day off. So, more coherency, another good word. More coherent thoughts at that time. Until next time, guys, go Lions. You'll have a good season in 2015. I can feel it. And I'll see you guys next time.